Hello folks, this is Dr. Russ Wallers, your online Marketing 300 instructor in Ball State's Miller College of Business's Marketing Group. Once again, we're broadcasting live and in color from the 23rd floor of Ball State's Marketing Command Center. In this learning module, we're tackling the price element of the marketing mix. The assigned reading focuses on 4 key issues. Number 1, various pricing objective alternatives available to the firm. Secondly, pricing policies. Third, the role of price on value to the customer. And fourth, some legal issues impacting price decision making. This short video addresses some key points, so be sure to read the assigned reading material in detail. This is essentially an overview. For starters, it's important to view pricing as a strategically critical marketing decision area. Pricing establishes the product's per unit revenue. Pricing decisions affect sales volume, since price and sales response are established via the demand curve. As such, the marketing manager should have a very clear understanding of the nature of the market structure and the demand function involved in marketing its products and services. Pricing should not be viewed lightly as an ad hoc decision process, but should be guided by the firm's pricing objectives and policies. The pricing objectives and policies should spell out, number 1, how flexible prices will be, 2, at what price levels will be set over the product life cycle, 3, to whom and when discounts and allowances will be given, and 4, how transportation costs will be handled. The bottom line is that prices reflect many dimensions which in turn impact customer value and therefore buyer behavior. From the consumer standpoint, price is the amount that's charged for something of value. The product attributes for which prices are charged range from purely physical products to products with substantial service components to pure services. This exhibit summarizes some possible variations of price for consumers or end users. On the price side, discounts, allowances, rebates, or coupons, transportation, and taxes may alter the list price. The price ultimately paid equals the value component. As shown, this component may be much more than a purely physical good and may encompass intangible value assessments shown on the right side of this figure, such as assurance of quality, for example. In contrast to consumers or final end users, the next exhibit shows the price equation as seen by channel members or channel intermediaries. On the price side, discounts, allowances, transportation, and taxes may alter the list price, although they may operate somewhat differently than in the consumer market. For example, quantity discounts and trade-in allowances are typically more important to channel members than they would be to the final consumer or end users. Again, the price ultimately paid equals the value. As shown, this component may encompass elements of each of the 4 Ps. All 4 Ps are highly interrelated. Since the final consumer does not have to resell the product, certain elements of the 4 Ps have greater or lesser importance to various channel members. For example, the expected profit margin on resale is a critical issue for channel members, as is packaging that facilitates shipping and handling farther down the line in the marketing channel. Company level and marketing objectives provide the guidance for setting pricing objectives. Pricing objectives should be explicitly stated because of their effect on the pricing policies adopted by the company. Pricing policies also affect other aspects of the marketing mix, as marketing managers use strategic planning to support the information communicated to consumers through the product price. In general, there are 3 general types of pricing objectives. 1, profit-oriented pricing objectives. 2, sales or volume-oriented pricing objectives, and 3, pricing objectives aimed at maintaining status quo market stability. Regarding profit, Two types of profit-oriented objectives are very commonly used. Achieving a target return may be a pricing objective where the marketing manager sets specific guidelines for a selected level of profit. Prices may be linked to a percentage of sales or return on investment, for example. Some companies simply want satisfactory profits that ensure the firm's survival and provide adequate returns to shareholders. Companies that are industry leaders, as well as not-for-profit public service companies, often pursue satisfactory profits because of public scrutiny they often receive. Secondly, profit maximization may be an objective. Here the firm sets prices to seek as much profit as possible. This objective may be used to recover high initial investment costs, or it may be simply a matter of company policy. Profit maximization can be socially responsible, as it does not always lead to high prices. Prices that are initially high during market introduction can go down in the later stages of the product life cycle, thus expanding sales and profits. With sales-oriented objectives, pricing supports the objective of increasing sales without regard to the effects on profit. Here are a couple issues. Sales growth doesn't necessarily mean big profits because marketers may overlook the costs associated with delivering those sales. Market share growth objectives are also popular. Coupled with a long-run view of the overall market growth rate and attention to costs, this approach can lead to long-term competitive advantages. Finally, status quo pricing objectives may be aimed at maintaining market stability. This may in itself be an important objective. Meeting competition stabilizes market prices because no one firm benefits from raising or lowering prices. This objective is often used when the total market for a product is not growing. Further, non-price competition may be an option where aggressive action is taken in the other three areas of the 4 Ps. That is, the firm may elect to compete on marketing mix components other than price, perhaps a unique product difference or distribution advantage, for example. For instance, many specialty goods compete using non-price competition aimed at the consumer who is seeking advantages other than price, such as prestige image or possibly high quality. Price policies usually lead to administered prices or consciously set prices. This practice is difficult with indirect distribution because channel intermediaries control their own prices. However, administered prices do help achieve pricing objectives. One key decision is about price flexibility policies. A one-price policy involves the same price for everyone. It is common with frequently purchased, inexpensive items. Further, it can be more convenient, entail lower transaction costs, and maintain goodwill with customers. In contrast, a flexible price policy involves offering different prices for different customers. Pricing databases make flexible pricing easier, less costly, and less time-consuming because the database would contain information about different users, for instance, retailers versus wholesalers versus original equipment manufacturers. Salespeople are often authorized to adjust prices to take into account competition, the firm's relationship with the customer, and the customer's bargaining ability. However, too much price cutting may erode profits. We'll discuss this problem in a minute. A flexible price policy may prompt resentment by customers who do not get the lowest prices. This may be a disadvantage. And channel conflict may also result, or an unauthorized gray channel may evolve if customers buy in large quantities, for instance, to get a price break and then resell what they don't need. I mentioned earlier that over-aggressive price cutting may erode profits. This practice needs to be closely monitored by the marketing manager. Here's an example. This slide illustrates the impact of price cutting on profitability. A small price cut may not seem like much, but keep in mind that all of the revenue that is lost would go to profit otherwise. Let's take an example of a company selling a product for $100. A 10% price cut, which doesn't seem like much, reduces the price to $90. In this example, let's assume the cost per unit is $80. Note that the 10% price cut results in a 50% drop in profit margin. Thus, marketing managers must approach price cutting carefully. This example further ignores demand. For instance, if the demand for this product was highly inelastic, in other words, if buyers are not price sensitive, the 10% price cut, which reduces profit margin by 50%, may have little or any effect on sales. In that case, all the price cut accomplishes is reducing overall profitability. Changing gears a bit, we talked earlier about how pricing objectives and policies would be expected to change over a product's life cycle. Here are two additional major price level policies termed price skimming and price penetration. A skimming price policy may be employed to feel out demand at a high price before aiming at more price-sensitive customers. Skimming may maximize profits in market introduction if there are few substitutes or if customers are not price-sensitive. Skimming does have critics who charge that this policy should not be used for such products as prescription drugs that have important social consequences. On the other hand, the profit generated from this strategy provides the firm with an incentive to pursue other breakthrough opportunities. When well executed, price moves down the demand curve when each price-linked segment is nearly exhausted. The new price and new features should attract a new target market and help maximize profit over the course of the product's life cycle. At least that's the logic. An alternative penetration pricing policy is aimed at achieving volume at a low price. A penetration price policy typically aims at setting a price low enough to discourage competition. If successful, large volume may help producers lower costs further, leading to still lower prices. So that's an alternative strategy. Discounts or reductions from list price is another pricing policy issue. Your reading assignment covers cumulative and non-cumulative quantity discounts, seasonal discounts, cash discounts, trade discounts to various channel members, and also sales discounts. Make sure you read over this material very carefully in your assignment. In addition to discounts, allowances, typically given to channel intermediaries, are common pricing policies. Your reading assignment discusses advertising allowances, which are price reductions given to firms in the channel to help promote the marketer's products locally. Also, stocking allowances, commonly called slotting allowances, given to intermediaries to secure shelf space. Push money, sometimes called spiffs, and finally trade-in allowances. Again, these are fully explained in your reading material. In addition to discounts and allowances, in many industries, geographic pricing policies are an important component of the price variable in the marketing mix. Make sure you're familiar with the following geographic pricing policies and when each type is appropriate: FOB or free on board pricing, zone pricing, uniform delivered pricing, and finally freight absorption pricing. A final price policy topic concerns various legal issues. Pricing decisions are frequently limited by government legislation. Minimum prices are sometimes controlled via Unfair Trade Practices Act, which may establish a lower limit on prices, especially at the wholesale and retail level. Dumping is pricing a product sold in a foreign market below the cost of producing it in its domestic market. Anti-dumping laws protect domestic producers from foreign competition. Phony list prices are also illegal, and also price fixing among competitors is illegal. The final legislative issue involves price discrimination. U.S. anti-monopoly laws such as the Robinson-Patman Act ban price discrimination, which is selling the same product to different buyers at different prices, if it injures competition. Differences in price have to be based on cost differences or the need to meet competition. Those are the two criteria. Robinson Patent permits charging different prices for similar products if they are not of like grade and quality. However, defining like grade and quality is often a very gray area. The FTC says that if the physical characteristics of products are similar, then they are of like grade and quality. Therefore, producers wanting to sell different brands at different prices should probably build in physical or other differences that are really useful or significant. Robinson Patent also allows price differences based on cost, such as quantity discounts. Cost analysis can justify price differences, however, the justification must be developed before setting the different prices. Further, a seller can legally meet price cuts made by a competitor even if this results in price differences among different buyers, but this must be done in good faith to satisfy the FTC guidelines. Finally, allowances and special promotions can be offered to buyers. However, these allowances must be made to all customers on proportionately equal terms in order to be legal and non-discriminatory. This pretty much wraps up an overview of this learning module on pricing policies and pricing objectives. As always, be sure to study your assigned reading material and review the key terms at the end of the assignment in preparation for your next exam. Be careful out there, and I'll see you online again soon. Thank you.